Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me for the final time this year, I believe, it's Stefan.
No, I think we got one more.
Really?
I think we got one more.
Oof, see, I didn't think you'd have the time.
No, I think we got one more in us. I mean, it depends what the performances are like in the next couple of games.
But you want to escape the family that much, you're going to... Okay, cool.
I'm saying it depends. It all depends on results and performances. I may go into hiding.
You're very flippy-floppy, aren't you? Very, very flippity-floppity. Come on, man. Come on, stick with me. We got this. It's okay.
Oh, no, there's no flippity-floppeting. I am Frank out. There's no flippity-flopping on this at all.
That is a bit... Now, come on now. That's a bit of a change. Right, we'll circle back to that. So, yes, hello. Welcome, everybody. There's a lot of games to talk about since the last we spoke. I mean, it's a bit of a cluster for me at the moment. But what is interesting, and I alluded to this last week, is this kind of... I brought it on myself, this kind of narrative where, I suppose you're happy, and it's like, I'm really not. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to kick the show off with, because otherwise I'll forget and then we'll get rambling, is we're going to kick the show off with comments and messages we've had come in.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
So, had a message from Lily. Lily is from Landon, and Lily basically said, you must be really happy now. You hated Frank from the start, and now everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. Do you feel vindicated?
Well, do you?
No. I think I just want to clarify it. Like I think I said at the start, and I hope this is what I said, because it's certainly what I meant. I couldn't tell people why I didn't like. It's just a character I couldn't warm to. And then you look at that kind of, so that's kind of like, I always looked at that from the point of view of, therefore, am I looking at him and the record and the concerns with a kind of jaded point of view? Like, Ange, for example, came in. When I first saw us linked with Ange Postecoglou, my initial reaction was, are you joking me? Like, this guy, I don't even know who he is, but I know he's a Greek Aussie. Yeah. I know he was managing in Scotland and did fairly well up there, but where's his kind of CV to show us, that he can do anything in the Premier League? And also, my understanding is when Celtic appointed him, they had to pay a fine because he didn't even have all his correct qualifications to manage in Europe.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't know that.
So my initial kind of like thing to all of this was, this is madness. And then did some research, looked into it, and really warmed to him as the way he speaks about the game, the way, his philosophy on football and everything. I was like, oh, wow, I'm on board. So what I was looking at with Thomas Frank joining was a situation where I was like, I really don't like him. I can't tell you why. I think he reminds me of a PE teacher too much, but I can't tell you why. So because of that, I was thinking to myself all the time, I was having this battle of all these negatives that I had for Ange that I kind of went, okay, I'm going to give him a chance, was due to the fact I kind of liked him.
Yeah, he kind of came in with the right sort of personality of, like, this is what we're going to do.
Well, it's just, it is...
Like, we were going to attack. I think you sent me a load of, like, videos and stuff on Twitter and stuff like that, of, like, him talking to the players and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is the guy, he gets it. Well,
it was interesting because you see that stuff and you're kind of like, well, wow, I am amped to like, support this man, and it's kind of... So... But just because someone's charismatic and like comes across well doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work well and everything. And I had legitimate concerns about us appointing him where, the Premier League is a very different league to the Scottish Premier League, and etc., etc. But I did kind of gloss over that mostly because I liked him. So when I was talking about Thomas Frank very early on, I was very conscious and very self-aware that I don't like him, so therefore all of these concerns I have possibly are just a byproduct of I don't like him. so I was doing my best, and obviously it didn't work because people are constantly telling me you've hated him from the start. So, but I was trying to kind of be like, okay, well, we'll see. I mean, these are my concerns, but we'll see.
He might come good.
Yeah, and I might win the lottery, and Sydney Sweeney might ask me out on the same day, but it doesn't seem very likely. I think my concerns, and I expressed them before, and I'm just going to say them again, is we were appointing someone whose sole achievement in the game was mid-table in the Premier League.
Yay!
Never won a trophy. Not only has he never won a trophy as a manager, he's also never coached a 4-competition season before, never coached a team in Europe, and we were giving him the Champions League. Like, you know, what a fun starting place for your first ever dip into, you know, to European management. What that means is because I'm not saying like, oh, well, someone's always got to take the step up at some point, and like
Everyone's got to start somewhere. I understand that kind of comeback, yeah.
But my point on this was we had a very serious problem last year where the squad depth just wasn't there. And because of the squad depth not being there, and we were playing in 4 competitions last season, Ange had, for me, one of the craziest injury seasons I've ever seen. It was insanity.
The amount, and they were just literally like, we were dropping like flies.
Well, I shared this statistic with Newbie yesterday, Ryan, which is basically Ange Postecoglou last season was only able to field Van der Ven and Romero across the entirety of like nearly 60 games 8 times together in the entire season.
And that was the quarterfinal, semi-final. That's 5.
Well, yeah, I mean, towards the end of the season he was able to do it, but we all know where things had got at that point.
Yeah, there was a bit of a reason for that, yeah.
And I think having Vicario with them, it dropped down to 6. And I think having Vicario, Udogie, and Pedro Porro all together, so our first choice back 5, if you like.
Oh yeah.
It was like four times the entire. In the Premier League, I don't think it happened once, or I think. Oh, hang on, I think it might have been twice, but one of them came on as a sub.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
So it is kind of crazy when you think about that, and so. To me, there was always mitigating circumstances last year that it was just insane. But from my point of view, although I got very frustrated with Ange at one point, my general frustration was at the board because I felt like you've appointed a coach with a very clear philosophy, which is very much the Tottenham way. You need to back that.
You can't is to do. That is the philosophy. And Ange, I mean, he definitely dared and did.
Oh, personified it. And you can't, like, there's this thing of, like, half-hearted, half measures all the time.
Yeah.
You look at the signings that Ange got in his first summer were primarily first-team signings. They were players that came in, Vicario, Maddison, Van der Ven. These are players that are names on the team sheet without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you move into the second season, and the only senior player signed was Solanke, who's a great player, but that's insanity when you think about it, because you were going from a 3-competition season in season 1 to a 4-competition in season 2. Like, the recruitment of some of the younger players has been phenomenal. Gray, Burval, they are players that Ange said himself, in years to come are going to be incredible. I mean, Ange said, I just hope I'm here to enjoy the work we're doing now, which...
No.
Somewhat prophetic.
I do genuinely believe, like, players like Lucas are, like, generational. He is just phenomenal.
Yeah, agreed.
And I just don't think any of them are being used well at the moment. And even looking back at, let's say, last season, we're looking at these players that came in. none of them were the sort of signings, even what we saw this summer. Like, I look at the players that came in this summer. So you've got Kudus, you've got Xavi, and even Kolo up top.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, crikey, imagine what would have happened if Ange had those three players.
Well, that's kind of the point, really, which is...
Imagine!
We'd be scoring for fun. We'd probably still be conceding for fun as well, but we'd outscore teams without a doubt. But
yeah, that'd be the difference, yeah.
I mean, we would go full Brazil. They'll score 4, we'll score 5. Just ask Fulham and Man City. What a mad game that was. Yeah. Pep Guardiola would have lost all his hair if he hadn't already done it. So I looked at this with the whole Thomas Frank situation and this point of view of that. Those were my concerns. I've never enjoyed... I never watched a great deal of Brentford games, but I was fully aware that whilst we were very poor with a very battered squad last season, they were one of the only teams we did the double over. Other than your beloved Man United.
Hey!
But whenever I watched Brentford, they would win games and stuff, but just there was never anything about it. It was inspiring. Like I watched Bournemouth, and Bournemouth played a style of football I really enjoyed watching. So the Bournemouth manager was someone who was like, okay. I thought Glasner at Crystal Palace, you see the way Palace play. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You know, just very structured, but also very, really good. But also, so mid-table, never won a competition, never managed in Europe, and we're handing in the Champions League, one of the traditional Big Six clubs of the country, and it just didn't make sense to me, and it still doesn't. Like, people are saying, like, oh, you got to give coaches time, and I do get that. Like, I voiced my utter frustration and annoyance of everyone screaming for Ange to be sacked when I was like, if we keep doing this, keep changing directions all the time, we are constantly in a rebuild. Constantly.
Yeah. And there's only so many times that you can rebuild and rebuild and rebuild and rebuild before something has got to stick and something has to work. And at the beginning of this season, I held my hands up and I said, I really hope we do back Frank because I thought he would be a very good manager for us.
Well, so let me, because we're on to the fan section in a minute, so I'm gonna circle back to your opinion in a moment, just because I want to get these comments in. So hopefully I've answered that. Like, I'm not enjoying it. It's not a case of like sitting back going vindication or anything like that. It's just...
I'd generally forgotten we got asked a question.
Well, there you go. So the next question is from Tina. Tina's in Leicester. Tina put to us, and again, it's very kind of similar field. At the start of the season, you seem to be in different camps. You and she calls you Stephen, by the way. I think that might be a typo. I think it's a typo.
No, it's just no one knows how to spell my name because my parents decided to spell my name wrong.
Well,
it's fully their fault.
Makes you unique. That's what people always tell people who have dumb names. So
I'm special.
She says at the start of the season, you seem to be in very different camps. In fact, you seem to be clashing over this. Where do you both sit now as we get close to Christmas, which I always think is a fair metric of time? I agree with that, by the way. The start of the season to Christmas, I do feel is a fair metric to judge. But yeah, I mean, I've gone from concerned, don't really like him, to can't stand the man, and I would very much like to see him removed and us make a change. Where about yourself? Because where were you and where are you now? I think is the question.
So, yeah, at the beginning of the season, I was genuinely quite excited for Thomas Frank to come in. It seems, as the season has gone on, and I've looked into this more and stuff, it does seem that I was someone who suckered into this whole, his personality and persona that he'd put across very well. Like, I've seen him do stuff with the BBC for, I think it was the Euros. He was a pundit and stuff for that. And I listened to him there and I was like, do you know what? Like, bearing in mind, I had no idea at the time that he was going to become a Tottenham manager.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you telling me when you were selling him to me about you'd seen him on podcasts and things, listened to him.
And everything he kind of said, and I say this is all before I knew he'd be Tottenham manager. Everything he was saying, stuff, you're like, oh, he's really got a good football brain. Like, he is analysing this stuff well. He makes good points. He speaks well about this, speaks well about that. And I was like, yeah, he's got a decent brain on him. He's done very well with the Brentford squad that is working on a shoestring.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that's a good manager. So when we got linked with him, I thought, oh, okay. If he can do that with a Brentford team, imagine what he can do with a team like we've got.
Yeah.
So there, for that, I was like, this is quite exciting, actually. In a way, I guess, it made me feel a little bit like when Pochettino came in. A guy who was doing well at a smaller club.
How dare you?
Is going to come into our team, and I thought this could be really good.
Dare you?
Let me finish. He's going to come in from a smaller club. He's going to take a bit of time to bed in, but he's going to build a squad. He's going to build a culture. And I'm like, he's coming into a squad that already has that togetherness, and it already has that culture.
Yeah.
So if anything, he's a step up of where Poch came in, because Poch came in to a squad of mercenaries, and he had to clear a crap load of dead wood out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Frank's coming into a pre-made, like, this squad will run through walls for each other. This could be really good. I was really quite excited by it.
So where are you now?
I am heading down to London in 12 days' time, and I am happy to smuggle him into a suitcase and dump him somewhere over the Atlantic.
So you have gone from excited, optimistic, to where we are in December. You are hoping, like me, that he's removed.
I really am. Like, everything now about him is now annoying me. Like, his press conferences. He's doing nothing to help himself in the press conferences at all.
Yeah.
During the match, he doesn't seem to be able to make match-winning decisions at all.
No.
And for Christ's sake, chew your chewing gum with your mouth shut. That's really pissing me off. I know it's completely trivial, and it has nothing to do with football management at all.
Yeah.
But if I was stood next to him for 90 minutes of... I think I would have punched him by now.
Yeah, all sounds fair.
I know that's completely irrelevant to football management, but close your fucking mouth when you're chewing. Yes.
It's funny how you're not alone in that. Yeah. So we have one more.
We're losing a game. What are we going to do? I'm going to stand here and chew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The masticating Dane. Yeah.
Anyway,
we have one more. We have one more that's come in. This other email came from Gary, also in London. Now, I thought I'd seen this on Twitter, so apologies. I said this in our group chat yesterday. Or it might have just been to you, actually. I can't remember. If Polynesian Dan and Newbie and lovely Laura are listening, they'll know if I said it in which chat. But Gary in London says, should have thought of this sooner. However, now I've realised it, it's so friggin' obvious.
That's always dangerous, yeah.
Various players at Brentford, since Thomas Frank have left, have talked about the new lease of life and how happy they are. That comes across as standard PR, of course. Nothing much to think there. However, two very high-profile attacking players were linked with Tottenham quite heavily in the summer, Mbomo and Wissa. Both players with families lived in London. The easiest option in the world for them with their families living in London would be to move to a London club on a lot more money and work with the manager they already knew. However, both elected to leave and head to various parts of the country, moving their families, disrupting them, just to make sure they didn't have to work with the man again. Am I overthinking this, or should that have been a warning signal to all of us?
Yeah,
it's funny because
you mentioned this last night, and I was no. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, holy crap, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Like, what I live in London, my family live in London, my kids go to school in London. I can join that prick again. Fuck it, take me to Manchester.
Yeah.
It's the Manchester one, to be fair, the Manchester one I understand. It's the name of the club.
Oh, and you and your frigging Man United fetish.
If you've got an opportunity to be one of the players that rebuilds Man United, that one I can kind of understand. The Newcastle one and Wissa, that's the one that I'm really like, hold up, wait a minute.
So we were interested in both of them.
Yeah.
We made approaches to both of them. And if you go by the press, both players were already kind of interested and were off. Wissa, however, was linked to he just wanted to get out of Brentford. He didn't want to be there anymore.
There was any club that would take me, please.
Basically his whole was the whole kind of, I want to play in Europe, I want to play, which is fine, and he got his move to Newcastle. What is fascinating to me is like a little bit of scratching beneath the surface. You can see from very good reporting that we were talking quite heavily to both. So that is actually so that is accurate. Both had that option to join us. We would have easily paid the same as Man U and Newcastle, if not more.
We've got the money there, the wage structure is available.
And they would not have had to have moved.
However,
So yeah, I do get that question. I don't know. I mean, there's so many factors, human factors in all of this. But one of the things that I've learned through a very good friend who's a football scout, and just talking to journalists and people who have a much greater understanding of the mechanics of transfers and things, is that London does hold an appeal for a lot of players and their families. Like, there is actually a lure of, I'd love to live in London. I'd love to have access to all of this and things, especially sort of younger players with younger partners who are keen to be, wags, if you like influencers in their own right. And
definitely.
Being in London is the place to be.
From 45 minutes away from London
yeah.
to up to near Lincoln.
Yeah.
I can fully understand. Like, don't get me wrong, I love living up here. The way of life is incredibly different.
Yeah.
However, I am not a footballer with a personality, influence, or whatever as a partner.
Yeah.
And without all the money that they get as a footballer.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I had all the money of a footballer and had a choice between living up north and living in London, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Do you know, this is just a little bit of a tangent, do you know that Alex Ferguson, not only for Manchester United was incredible, but for the city of Manchester as well? Because he realised they were struggling to sign players because their wives didn't want to move to Manchester because there was nothing there. So he and the club were essential in creation of Trafford Centre, shopping, redevelopment of all these different places to create destination parts of Manchester.
Now the Trafford Centre is a lovely shopping centre.
Yeah, there you go. It's all true. That you can read into that in book. I read that by Eck.
I read that book.
Yeah, read that book. So that was the last of the. Well, I mean, we've had about 30 more very similar emails to that. So apologies, I've not read them all out, but they're
basically
very,
no. I'm
similar.
not happy the team's doing shit. Stop asking me.
In essence, yeah. Stop thinking I'm gloating. But we do have a comment from someone with his own theme, which would cheer me up.
Now it's time for a comment from Ireland Brother.
Needed that in the December sunshine.
Mate, it is absolutely pissing it down outside my window. That's made me really happy to hear that.
So, hello to my fellow Spurs sufferers. Other than Spurs, I hope life is treating everyone well. I have come around to wanting Frank out. Seeing all kinds of media pugs this week. Either the players are having meetings or some players are dissatisfied. Frank's constantly changing tactics and don't know what their roles are. Question: Has booing a player who plays for your team ever in the history of any and all sports led to them upping their performance on the occasion? I get the frustration, but this is now toxic. I'm starting to feel as I did before Pochettino joined, which is a total disconnect to the club. Keep doing what you do, and come on you Spurs. Island brother, man, you just walk in here and absolutely nail it with the topics. So that perfectly segues to something me and you disagreed about. And that is the booing of Vicario.
Oh, no, we don't disagree. I do not believe you should ever boo during a match.
So I have the exact conversation we had in the group chat.
I was furious at Vicario for the moment. And you
literally said he deserves to be booed, right?
Huh?
You literally said that. I have that written down right here. I screenshotted it so we discuss it on the show. I read it as a reminder. Not because I want to throw you under the bus. It's like literally I kept it as a reminder to talk about it. He deserves to be booed. He didn't even try and get back.
He deserves to. He doesn't say I did.
No, well, you're not there.
Exactly. I never did that.
Look. Here's the thing then. So let me give you the opportunity of what it is. So my view on this is it's moronic. He has just made a massive mistake. No two ways about it. It is a absolute colossal fuck up, which you can then see. And by the way, when you watch the replays, and I think you've done this as well, he has this moment of total, like an out of body experience where he's caught in no man's land and he's like goes to the sprint and then doesn't because he's like confused, and then the ball's kicked and he just has this, he like throws his arms like, I'm mad and I don't know, I don't know what's happened, I've lost the brain. Like, I get it, like that can happen, what an awful time, what an awful moment, whatever. I will say that neither centre-back got to the fucking goal line, which is where they're supposed to be in that situation.
Yeah, so
in fact,
I made that point in the group chat. You didn't screenshot that bit though, did you, bastard? I did say
I'm talking about it right now. I will mute your mic. Shut up. I'm still talking. And yes, I was coming to that. God, you're so defensive when you're wrong.
Yeah,
so
try living with my wife, all right? You learn to get defensive.
So he's got two central defenders there, and what is really interesting to me, they both ran out. So they are coached. They were drilled. They were clearly told this is where we need to be. Because you watch them, man. They both make that thing. And then they're both looking over their shoulders like, oh, weren't one of us supposed to? Oh, shit. So it was an absolute colossal clusterfuck. Completely on Vicario, 100%. But as a defensive unit, fucking atrocious. My point on that, so definitely circle back to it because I know you got a view on that as well. But my view on this is be frustrated. A collective groan of for like 100%. But he knows to then boo his every touch for a significant period was fucking moronic.
It was his next
that is your
touches.
player.
His next 4 times he had the ball, he got booed. Yeah. But the thing is, that went over about 7 minutes, I think someone said it was.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
But that's our own, what good's that going to do our team, our keeper, who clearly needs to be picked up in that moment? Like, he must have felt like the loneliest man on the planet in that moment. And our support just tore in, like, made it worse. Like, the opposition fans must have been like, oh, you're doing the job for us. Like, when a keeper makes a mistake, the opposition fans are all over them, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, every time the ball, like, oh, you're going to fuck up again. They didn't need to do it.
If it had been the opposition goalkeeper did that, and the Tottenham fans, every time the ball went to him, the Tottenham fans went, oh, and took the piss. Yeah. You get it. Yeah.
That's what you do. So the opposition fans must have just been like, oh, fair enough. We don't have to say shit. Tottenham are doing it themselves. Brilliant. They're ripping their own team apart. So I stand by that. I said it at the time, and I stand by it. I think everyone who did that's a fucking idiot. So if you're listening and you booed our own goalkeeper in that moment, what are you doing? What was your goal in that moment? How is that going to help him? After the game, slate him. Go freaking mental about it if you like. There's so many avenues for you to do that nowadays. But during the game, inside the stadium, when he's fucked up is the time to sing his name, to pick him up, because we need him. He's our goalkeeper. Like, the definition of trying to crush a person's confidence is moronic. So that's been my view from the minute it happened, and it has not changed. You now, what from your point of view, because I know you're kind of, wanting to air your view here.
So when it first happened, just absolutely furious at how it all happened.
Yeah.
And in those few moments where it happened, everything was aimed at Vicario. 100% I accept that I was.
Yeah.
I then, like yourself, saw a couple of the replays and rewatched it back and stuff. And that's when I realised, like you just said, like there was something like 6 or 7 players around our box. All Tottenham players.
Yeah.
Not one of them went, cover the goal line.
No.
Now, for me, that is Sunday League football. Literally like Sunday League level of keepers come out, I better get on the goal line.
Mate, it's literally kids stuff. Like, I played as a central defender or a left back. Never been a good footballer. But one of the things I was taught when I was like 8, you get to the line.
Yeah.
Like, Van der Ven did it very famously in a Europa League final. And yet in this game, he was pushing out.
They both stepped up, and it was like, wait, just one fucking player use a brain cell to go, shit, cover the line.
Yeah.
So, like, my furiousness, whatever.
Yeah.
England, me language.
Yeah. Nice.
Went from, what Vicario was doing. He was caught in no man's land. Why he didn't just fucking punt it up the pitch. He should have gone full Dele Alli, just hit it long and hope. But he didn't.
Which he does
Fair
so
enough.
often.
It happens.
Yeah.
In a moment, it happens.
It was a fuck up. And, like, the funny thing is like, that was horrific and it happened. In that same game, can you all tell me that not one other Tottenham player misplaced a pass?
Oh, multiple.
Did they get booed?
And Vicario also made a few good saves.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of balances itself out. Now, for me, my anger mainly then actually turned to the whole tactical setup of why no player went to get on the line.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, why our 2 centre-backs stepped up.
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to play people offside if there's no fucking goalkeeper in the first place?
When you watch it back and you're just like, no one used it. There was this thing ages and ages ago. We had a guest, Coach Ali, and she talked about to me how modern coaching in football is about taking out individuality. So it's like, this is a system. We play this system. And it's almost like you're shoving a joystick up every player's ass in your coat and you will stand there. If you don't stand there, I'll drop you and get someone who will stand there. And the individuality of a player to think, I should do this. Oh, hang on, there's space there. I'll move into the space, is all being eliminated by certain coaches. I mean, we were talking at the time, I think, a little bit about Pep and like players like Grealish and stuff like that who have that element of a bit of a maverick. But under coaches like Pep, that's not allowed. You can't be that. You need to fit in this little system because this system works.
I mean, yeah, Calvin Phillips is the other famous example of a player that was so good at Leeds.
Yeah.
They brought him at Man City, but they didn't actually have a space for that player at Man City.
No. There's countless examples like Ross Barkley and stuff like that at Chelsea. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you could go through it for ages, but my point is on this is like, that was like an automated, coached, we are standing here at this point of the game, so we now move over there. Like, no one had the wherewithal of, where's Vicario going? Oh shit, he's misplaced that pass. Because it almost felt like, I know you said to me, like, it felt like he didn't sprint. I just think he lost his head. Like, I get it completely. But at the same time, it's like the defenders are stood there watching him like, you need to be quicker. You need to run. Oh, look, the ball's gone past you. Now it's past me. Oh, they scored. It was like... So
it literally was that. The way they're looking at each other, like, well, it's over me.
Yeah.
It's over him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no.
where's Vicario?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a very
yeah.
It was a very preventable goal, even after the error, and it was very like the frustration in the players then kind of boiled over, and I think
even closing down the damn player that had the shot from out
oh
wide.
I know yeah
No one closed him down at all, and it's
No.
like there was at least 4 different moments where that goal could have been prevented.
yeah, even with the error, yeah, exactly, yeah, I completely agree, and like it boiled over. There was a lot of anger and frustration between the players. It was very visible. You could see a lot of niggle between them, a lot of arguments, and I kind of looked at that and thought to myself, well, this isn't a great sign. And also, I think there's frustration over it. None of them know where they're supposed to be or know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think there is a genuine lack of what the hell, like this week, like I remember us talking about, I like to have a coach with a clear philosophy. And what I mean by that is not a kind of rigid, I know everyone thinks Andrew's very rigid, this is how we play no matter what, YOLO. And yeah, I do like that. I do like the fact that you're going to play with this attacking intent. This is how we're going to create goals. This is how we're going to create space. Someone did a fantastic tweet the other day, and I did share this in the group, where it was like, after so many games, I could see with Pochettino, this is how we are playing.
Yep.
After so many games, I could see it clearly under Jose. I could see it clearly under Conte. I could see it clearly, like literally, I think they listed, and apologies, I'm going to paraphrase this. Pochettino, width provided by the fullbacks, strength in the middle of the park, try and create overlaps. Jose, defensively deep, sat with a strong counter attack. Conte, overloading with wing backs to create overlaps, crosses, and that's how you're going to score. Like Ange was all about the kind of inverted fullback, so you're basically creating additional space, consistent pressing up the pitch, holding a higher line, therefore you're suffocating them and you're creating constant underlaps and overlaps as well.
But they all
sort of
had
players.
a particular look at it and go, that is exactly what they're doing.
We could all recognise very, very quickly, and not even that quickly, because I remember, like you said this about Pochettino when he joined, we watched his Southampton team tear teams apart for a good season, and they were punching well above their weight, and you could see every player in that system was improved by the system and the coaching. And the reason why I know that is because when the vast majority of them went on to other clubs, they were never the same.
Yeah.
Like you can literally list them, and it's like they never hit the kind of levels that you saw under that system. I mean, the best example was Morgan Schneiderlin. That guy looked awful as soon as Pochettino wasn't his coach, because he couldn't play a game other than that system in that role. He was recruited for, and it just perfect. That's how it worked.
He ended up going to United, didn't he? And then just never did anything. And then ended up
never did anything.
Small team in France or something. Yeah.
Everton. I think he just sat on the bench for a while. It was just vanished up his own ass. But so my point is that after a while in those games, our results were crap. But I remember looking at it going, I can see the direction. Like, I like this. I like the way we're trying to play. And if we change some of these players, we did. Then into the next season, we had like the night of the long knives where he like cleared 9 players in like a couple of days. Recruited, and we were all kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. Eric Dyer's playing in defensive midfielder. What the hell? And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow, we're good. Where did this come from? So you could see it and you could understand it. Even if the results weren't there, you could see it and understand it. Where we are currently with Thomas Frank is the results aren't there. Like right at the start of the season, we were picking up results. But as I kept saying at the time, it's like our only goal threat is set pieces and individual brilliance. That is not sustainable.
No, it's worrying. Like, don't get me wrong, we all love moments like Van der Vaart's massive run from his own box.
Van der Ven,
sorry, that's it. The other guy. We all love those moments where they make that run.
It's incredible.
Last night's match, I know we'll get on to it, but last night's match, 2 goals that were both brilliant goals.
Yeah.
But they have absolutely nothing to do with the tactical play or the setup of the team.
If anything, it was the antithesis of it, where basically Cuti Romero looked pissed off.
Yeah, we had a corner, nothing came from it, and he basically went, "No, sod it, I'm staying up here. This is ridiculous."
Yeah, and he scored a great goal. The header was a great goal, and then again another set piece, and he hits an overhead kick. My point is set pieces, individual moments. I mean, because I think last night we had 2 shots on target. At half time, we'd had none on target, which was the 4th league game in a row.
That's
unacceptable. That's like when people are saying to me like, "Oh, you need to give him time" and stuff like that. I am more than willing to hold my hands up and say when I'm wrong about someone. I'm also more than willing to say, yeah, coaches do need time to bed in to get stuff done. But at this point, as we approach Christmas and all of the fixtures is coming, if we don't act soon, in my humble opinion, we genuinely have a big problem. Like, we picked up a point last night in Newcastle, which feels massive.
We did not deserve even a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think we did. But at the same time, that penalty decision was fucking atrocious.
Oh god, yeah. So, Jamie Redknapp after the game summed that up beautifully.
Okay, I didn't watch any of it, so go on.
He basically, again, I'm paraphrasing, but he was basically saying like, okay, brilliant. If that is now the threshold for what we call a penalty,
yeah,
you're seeing 4 a match.
Oh, yeah, massively, yeah. There should have been 4 in the game last night.
And it was like, okay, we're all happy with them making things tighter. And, yes, if you go by the exact letter of the law, Bentancur was not looking at the ball when he first held Dan Burn.
Yeah.
But you're ignoring the fact that Dan Burn has him in a headlock.
Yeah.
And falls to the ground. Now, you have absolutely no knowledge whether Bentancur was checking where the player was, giving him a jostle, and about to turn round. Because he was in a headlock.
Yeah, it's horse shit, really it is. Cuti Romero made that very clear, and he's probably going to end up with a massive fine now. I just hope he doesn't get banned. He basically retweeted everyone who slagged off the officials.
Yeah, his Twitter feed is just VAR shit, penalty shit, ref shit.
I mean, my captain, he was ready to fight the fucking lot at the end of the game.
Bring it
on. He got a bit stuck into someone, which I enjoyed.
Oh, Bruno, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he mimicked his celebration when he equalised.
The pointing to the name on the back of the shirt thing, yeah.
And then the whole holding his hands up to his ears and all that kind of stuff right in front of the Newcastle fans, which went down really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's my captain. I love him.
He's such a shit house, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's ours. He's our shit house. So I was like, the game last night is insanity to me, because like you just said then, on paper, getting a point away at Newcastle is a fantastic result. It really is.
Yeah.
Like that, we go there and we get dicked on a regular basis. So I am delighted with that point, and I think it's a great result. The thing is that Jamie Carragher on commentary said it, and again, paraphrasing, because I think he nailed it when he said, when you walk away from this game tonight and Tottenham have drawn 2-2, it sounds a great result, especially given the recent losses. But they came here and they created just 2 shots on target the entire night. Luckily, they've both gone in.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, like it was an atrocious match. Like, it was not good to watch at all.
No. Newcastle.
I was talking to a couple of people on social media last night about the game.
Yeah.
And I said to both of them, it was like, this is not good to watch.
No.
One of them, she's a season ticket holder. She goes to a lot of the away games. She wasn't able to go last night. I bet you're glad. I bet you're glad you didn't able to get to this game.
Yeah.
It's a bit like our admin Ryan, who's a season ticket holder, but I don't think he's been at games since 2022.
Yeah, newbie has a season ticket, and he basically sells it every week.
It's been 3 years since he's been to a game.
Yeah. He don't even know who the manager is anymore. He was, the last time he was there, it was some bloke we don't talk about. But no, all joking aside, I mean, his apathy towards attending, we both know, genuinely, he was there every single game for the last few years.
Yeah.
And his apathy towards the club now, his apathy towards the way we're playing everything, sums up a horrible, horrible disconnect, which, you know, our island brothers alluded to, and I can relate to massively, because I've talked about this on a podcast before, but Pochettino brought me back, because under the regimes before, I had never felt more disconnected to the club ever. And it was at that point that I started following the academy teams, because I love the club, but the first team was just a bunch of mercenaries who I didn't care for. And I was watching this academy side with Ryan Mason, Nabil Bentaleb, Tom Carroll, treacherous little shit, Harry Kane, and Ross Townsend. So when Pochettino came in, and I'm kind of like, oh, Southampton, I don't know whether he's going to be any good or not. I mean, Southampton played some good football, we'll see. And then I started seeing those players in the first team as well. I had that connection. I was like, oh wow, I'm in, sort of thing. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was, and so now I am left feeling, watching this, like, I love a lot of these players. Like, winning the Europa League, I feel like bonded me to the squad, because I watched the celebrations, the parade, everything that happened. I feel very connected to them. And now I'm watching them this season, and I feel like that connection's going, but also it feels like they're losing it as well. It feels like their bond, their kind of togetherness, it's all going out the window. Like, there are literally 5-6 reports yesterday of bust-ups and meetings being held and arguments going on. We saw it on the pitch, like, literally Sar,
Bergvall. Now, me and you spoke about this the other day. I know it was obviously what's happening on the podcast, but we were saying about this exact thing. Now, whether that was because of everything that was happening behind the scenes and with the press and everything, or just purely Ange's man management, whatever it was, that club were in it. Like, they were all together, no matter what.
Yeah.
Down to the extent that Sergi Reguilon, who wasn't even part of the team for the first half of the season, held up a banner with the manager's face on it at full time of the Europa League when we'd won.
Yeah.
Like, that is how together they all were. Like, he wasn't even involved in it, but he was still there, you know?
Yeah.
And that takes a hell of a lot to build. To get a squad that place, that takes a lot.
Yep.
You know, you've got to go through the adversary. You've got to go through all of that to build that team together. And you've got to have a hell of a manager that keeps you all, like, you know, it's us first them. Fuck the world. It's us first them.
Yeah. And they had that.
And they had that, and they would have run through walls for each other. Like, they were constantly defending each other, defending the manager, defending this, They were together. That takes a lot to build.
Remember when the club tried the brief against him after Christmas? So January window came and went. We didn't get the reinforcements he needed. Results just went dire. Like, it was then just defeat after defeat after defeat. And the club did what they always do, is they start to brief the press. Oh, there's problems with training. The injuries are because of the training. I have never, and possibly will never again, see such an instant response from the players. And I think it is the whole reason that Ange didn't get fired at that point, is because to a man, they went to the press and told that was bullshit.
Yeah, I remember Pedro Porro was out on Spain duty. Yeah. He was like, no, we train like this all the time. It's nothing to do with it. Van der Ven was like, I don't get it. I don't know where that's come from. That's
Van der Ven, who had injury after injury with his hamstring, was like, nah, it's nonsense. Like, absolute, there's nothing to do with training. Like, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
It was, and obviously QT Romero was his usual. It's because we didn't sign any players in the summer. The coach, you know, the club's dickheads. put that in, you know, English, but nicer. You sent the tweet, QT. Fuck it then. You know, I'll pay the fine. I remember Ange in a press conference. I remember Ange in a press conference being asked about QT doing an interview, and I'll never forget it because he said, "Oh, QT Romero yesterday was speaking to an Argentinian journalist," and you saw Ange go, "Oh God, really?"
Yeah, he said this,
and he was like, "Oh," and he basically said that the owners of the club have let you down and the team down because you've not so. And you saw his face of like, "Oh fuck, I agree with him." Okay, poker face. Oh, Cooty's a passionate guy, and he sometimes voices things that maybe are best internally.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, oh no. So that was struck me.
Oh shit!
But to your point, the togetherness was insane, and like the backing, and this is where I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, there's problems everywhere. There is no backing for this manager. There is near constant stuff leaking. Now, here's a little tip for anyone, and most people probably know this. When you see sources close to the player, it's the agent. when you see sources close to the club, it's normally one of the middle management press officer types.
It used
off
to
the
be
record,
Donna, but it's not anymore because she's gone.
Donna Cullen, what a wonderful woman. She loved me. I could tell. Do you know, it's a funny thing. The fact that she even knew who I was a funny thing to me. But the fact that she tried to constantly do stupid shit when we were disagreeing with them to fuck with us on this page, like the Facebook page, having us taken down by Facebook because we were using the Cockerel logo, which is copyrighted.
Yeah.
Every Tottenham fan page there is literally using the club logo, but we were the issue. Just so happened that was.
Guess what, Donna? We're still here. Where are you?
Just so happened it happened not long after leading a campaign called "Pay the Staff." But anyway, I'm sure that was unrelated. Absolutely,
We're still here.
Yeah, she's not. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about. I know we're getting close to the end, but there's a couple of topics that have come up and I want to put to you. The first one being, this was put to me, and I have a very strong opinion on it, but I'm going to put it to you and see what you think. It is unfair to judge Thomas Frank because he is having to deal with the legacy of Ange Postecoglou. And the legacy of Ange Postecoglou is that the players in this squad no longer feel winning is important because Ange coached them to focus on winning the trophy, the Europa League, don't care about the league, and it's going to take a lot to clear that mindset. It might even mean a total squad needs restructuring, reshaping, but it's not on Thomas Frank. This actually, all of these results, all of these problems are still Ange Postecoglou's fault. What do you think to that statement?
That's amazing. That's basically like saying a player that gets injured now is Ange's training routine. That's similar. Not Ange's problem. That is the club's problem.
Yeah.
If the club, Daniel Levy, showed that winning a trophy was not as important as the payment from finishing higher up in the league,
yeah,
that's a Levy issue. That's not an Ange issue. Ange proved to them that they are winners. You can win trophies.
Yeah.
You are a good enough squad to win trophies. That is what Ange showed them.
Yep.
The club, Daniel Levy, showed them that wasn't important. Now, with the whole thing of the squad's going to need a whole reshake and everything else, no, it's not. We have new owners at the club. Well, we have the same owners, we have a new chairman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the same people that run in the club, let's be honest.
Yes. Rebranded.
They have the opportunity to now prove to the players what you guys did last season, winning that trophy. We want more of that.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do because you guys are winners. This is what we are going to do that more. We want more parades. We want more nights like that in Bilbao. They have a chance to prove that.
So my view on this is if you disliked Ange last season, like you made your decision on him, you are so desperate for that to be vindicated that you are now clutching at straws. And the reason why I say this is because a number of accounts on Twitter that I follow that I really respect the opinions, like they do really good breakdowns and analysis, were retweeting this, basically saying, yeah, that's right. It's a mentality issue. The players have had it instilled in them for an entire season that league games don't matter. Yeah, it's such horse shit.
Oh my god. That's
like the idea that those players all of last season were told that league games don't matter is a nonsense. It's not that it didn't matter. It's the fact that they were in a situation where it's like, okay, we got a squad of 30 players. I know it's less. And of those 30, 20 of them are injured. So therefore, I've got 10 players. I've got a field 11 plus name a bench. That was literally the problem he faced on a regular basis for over a third of the season. 1/3 of the entire season, we had over 80% of the squad unavailable, the first team squad. That is fucking insane.
Really,
according to Opta, it is the largest injury and ongoing as well. We are still ranked number 1 for the duration of senior players missing games. That's like the mentality then to go, not fuck it, it's only the league, we don't care about the league, didn't exist. It was, how the fuck can we achieve something this season with all of the adversity? This is what we're going to do. And you only got to look at the fact that togetherness, the fact that not one of them came out bitching, the fact that, like you said, fringe players were still backing the man, goes to show that people in the circumstances, in the trenches, understood why. The idea that following a good, clear pre-season, a brand new coach, all of those players, professional, earning that amount of money, are going to training going, only the league, remember Ange last season, we don't need to worry. Utter bollocks.
Oh, definitely.
The next thing, which is kind of, I think is an interesting thing again, so I'm going to put to you. We are, this season, seeing the final Levy legacy play out. What that means is Daniel Levy, in his final acts as chairman of our football club, fired Ange Postecoglou after winning a trophy, knowing all of the issues that happened, but just fired him, and appointed, with the help of Johan Lang, Thomas Frank. A decision, by the way, which, if the rumours are true, largely played a part in the Lewis family deciding now was the time to get rid of Daniel Levy.
Yeah, he brought in this manager and they went, nah, I'm done now.
Yeah. But this is the reality of this, okay? Daniel Levy's final act as our chairman and in complete control of this football club was to fire Ange and appoint Thomas Frank. Following that decision, he was let go himself, and the board members who were Levy loyalists, if you like, also went. Yes, you can say decided to leave, retired, whatever you want to. They all got ousted.
There's
the
a
Lewis
plank,
family,
jump or be pushed. Yeah.
In essence, yeah. You can use it as a springboard, or we can use it to push you in. They literally have complete control, but we now have a manager that they didn't appoint. They have a manager in place. Of course, publicly, they're going to be like, yeah, we're backing him, we're doing everything we can. But behind the scenes, the reason they got rid of Daniel Levy is because they didn't agree with his decision. Like, they didn't agree with what he'd been doing, and this was the final straw. That means there must be a disconnect there. There must be. There must be a problem, therefore, between Thomas Frank and his coaching staff and the people above him, because the people directly above him is Johan Lang. They added Paratici there, who was not a part to it at all, would probably not have, like, he did this really strange club interview, and then has not done a lot of press since, and for Paratici, that's weird. It's almost like they don't want him talking to the press, ever.
So you just sit there, be quiet, do your job. and don't talk to anyone, please.
Well, we all know that the main reason why Italian journalists suddenly had the scoop on every transfer we had was because he loves talking to journalists. Like, this guy is not afraid of an interview. He loves them. So why is it, strangely, that in his tenure now, we're not hearing from him? The only thing he's done on an interview was, well, maybe not my choice, but I adapt my recruitment, my philosophy, what I'm doing to the coach we have. So right now, I'm a Thomas Frank guy, and that's the football, and this is what we're going to do. I personally think, and again, this is just my utter opinion based on knowing that the board took over, removed Levy. Paratici has been put in there by the new, Lewis family overlords to help us transition, because if Thomas Frank goes, I wonder how long Lang stays in his role.
Oh, I think I honestly can see both of them being gone by the end of the season.
Now the thing with Lang is interesting because his recruitment of the younger players is phenomenal. Like, you look at the players he's brought in with Gray, Burval, Vuskovic, who's arguably one of the best defenders in Europe right now, which is insane.
That kid is like walking on water.
He keeps making the statistical team of the week for European football. That's hilarious. The top
and he's not even playing in a top team in Germany either. He's just just
hilarious. He's just nailed it every single game. The stats are just nuts, and he's just So using it's who scored. I think they do a team of the week for the top 5 European leagues.
Yeah, it's like aerial duels, ground duels, tackles made, interceptions, passes, accuracy. Yeah, it's just I'll take them all.
It's insane. It's very. I mean, it's funny. So, with that being said, then that's like I've just laid out that scenario based on what's happened and the reporting. What do you think is... Because, like, under Daniel Levy, I had a fair understanding of when a coach was going to get fired.
Things I knew the process. You could start reading between the lines, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Like you already said, it was like things like...
Briefing the press
and all that started coming out, and you're like, I can see where this is going.
Now, I genuinely believe the performances against Chelsea and then Arsenal... I think Levy would have had itchy trigger finger at those points. I genuinely think he would have. And I think going to 2-0 down at home that early, the Vicario mistake, the fans booing our own players, there were a lot of you don't know what you're doing chants.
Now, if you remember back to He Who We Do Not Speak Of.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
There was a match where he made a substitution and the fans booed. The chance of you don't know what you're doing happened. There was a look between two certain people, and we all went, he's gone.
and we were right.
It was the equivalent of in his last job, the chairman kind of like just going onto the pitch and arguing at him, but a little more subtle. It was kind of like, right, he's gone, he's done, we know this now. That's the end of that. That game where the fans are booing, you don't know what you're doing, and everything like that is happening. Under the last regime... I would have been looking at there going, he's gone. We are going to get the news article. Probably not tonight, but I'd expect to get it in the morning.
Yeah.
We have new owners. Well, no, we don't have new owners. We have new people in charge.
Yeah.
And like you, I'm kind of like, I don't know where is their cut-off point? Like, where is their jump point? If we'd have gone to Newcastle last night and had it like a couple of seasons ago where we were 5-0 down in 25 minutes, would that have been the jump point? Or...
See, we don't know.
We don't know where it is.
This is the intriguing thing, because the Lewis family have tried to... This whole rebranded ownership, I've tried to talk about, they are in this for sporting success. My scepticism on this has been that you've been the owners the whole time. Like, I know you're rebranding yourself. Oh, we're the Lewis family, not Daniel Levy and Enoch anymore. Yeah, right, you're rebranding, whatever. Show us. Show us that that's different.
All I can hope is that Joe Lewis and Enoch wanted profit. And I can only hope that this slightly younger, because I think they're still well older than us, slightly younger generation
witnessed
that night in Bilbao and went, "Oh, I enjoyed that. That was a good knees
well,
up. Let's do that again."
That is certainly the the spin they gave, which is the night in Bilbao made them decide sporting success should come first, and Ange being fired then triggered this whole this isn't right. That's the spin from them. The proof's in the pudding. I've talked about this so many times. Like, we will see whether there's genuine ambition. My feeling right now is, if we go into the January window and they back Thomas Frank with early signings that you look at and go, oh, wow, okay, then I think they're making a massive mistake.
I was going to say, we're fucked.
Personally, I think they're making a massive mistake because I don't think he's the man to back. I think there is a clear disconnect between him and the fans, which he seems to pour flames on. I don't think he communicates very well. I don't think he understands the difference between having goodwill at a club at Brentford, where he had a level of goodwill where he could perform and get bad results, and the fans are like, yeah, but he brought us up, he's kept us up, all this kind of stuff.
But even that, have you spoken to any Brentford fans since he left?
Yeah, a lot.
They are
actually.
all just like, yeah. Have you had any subs at half time to change the game yet?
Yeah.
No, don't worry, you won't. Have you seen him do this during the game yet? And we're like, no. Yeah, you won't.
Yeah,
have you seen him do this yet? Yeah, I have. Yeah, get used to that. Oh, for it's like,
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. But so the Lewis family, for me, if they back him, although I think it's a massive mistake, because I think we've had enough games, we should see something. We should see a direction. We should see a style of play. Even if the results aren't right yet, we should by now be able to see what the plan is to score goals. Yeah. There is no plan to score goals beyond set pieces and hope.
Yeah,
it is literally defending
like you
and
said,
kicking
under
it
Poch, you could see what the wingers were doing, what the fullbacks
you
were
could
doing.
see,
under Ange, you could see the whole, right, we are going to invert the players here, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Brilliant, okay. Under what we're seeing at the moment, I'm just watching it going, I don't get it. Like, I do not see a structure of play. Like, at least at Brentford, everyone used to say they're a really good counter-attacking team. They have fast wingers and they will hit you on the counter-attack.
Yeah.
We have very fast wingers and we've actually got a rather rapid strikers, to be fair.
Yeah.
And the midfield's not exactly slow. So if I was sat here watching us with a bit of a low block, but using Kudos, using Odebert, using Johnson, using Kolo up top, using Tell, using these fast players, and going, okay, the low block's a bit crap, but my God, once we get the ball, it's like bang, 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 we're at the edge of their box. I'd be like, okay, I can see what he's trying to do. He's brought that from Brentford with him. Okay, fair enough. I'm now getting to half time in games, 4 in a row now, with going, we haven't had a shot on target.
No.
In fact, we hadn't actually had a shot at half time at all yesterday. I think. And I'm like watching it and I'm like, so what is it? Like, what is it? What are we doing?
At this point, we should be able to see it.
100%.
We should.
100%. The fact we don't is one of the reasons why I'm like, okay, he needs to go.
So that's my thinking on this. My thinking on this is the direction needs to change. It needs to change quickly. You look at the games, I don't see... Like, we got a point last night in a game I didn't think we'd get anything. So that's good. It is madness that we've had 7 away, 7 home games this season. If you look purely at away games, we are the best performing team in the league. Literally, with a better goal difference away from home than Arsenal, are the second best performing team with away games. If you look at our home games only, the only team with a worse home record than us this season is Wolves.
Who only have 2 points in the league this season, one of them against us.
Yeah, we are second from bottom. So my point on this is there is an insanity going on. Like, we can't play at home. Our home stadium is now so toxic, so angry, so kind of that our players are afraid to play there. But a coach who's got anything about him should be able to solve that, and it's not happening. And like it should, it is. Yeah, I'm beyond frustrated. It's winding me up because it feels like if we're gonna spend money in January, which the Lewis family keeps saying they're going to,
they reckon, yep.
If you're doubling down on this decision, which wasn't theirs, which is why I think they've got a perfect out to fix it. I think, okay, I'm just going to say this is my last thing. If a manager becomes available who they would think he could change things, get us more the Tottenham way, and they speak to him and he's like, yeah, I'll take over, I think Frank's gone. That's my humble opinion. If there isn't someone available, I think they're going to half-heartedly back him in January with a view of a certain someone being changed in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, even the signings made in the summer, they were great squad signings. Like Xavi Simons, getting Kolo in on loan, getting Kudos in, Palhinha, they were good signings.
Mate, they were all brilliant on paper, but unfortunately football's being played on grass.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
We got a wrap now, so I want to say a big thank you to everybody who messaged in and everything like that. We really do appreciate it. Always get in touch. You can do it via any of the socials or sam@spursnews.co.uk. It sounds like Stefan's going to be with me for at least one more week, so that's great. Following that, we will have guest hosts going into the Christmas period and into the new year, and then Stefan will return, I think, about mid-January. Is that right?
Yeah, transfer window. I'll be a new signing. Returning loan, something like that,
Something like that. So a massive thank you to everybody for listening. We will be back next week. Until then, everybody, you all take care.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.